All right, so we are in a complete lockdown. We have been since yesterday. There's been a cluster of COVID cases here in Adelaide, South Australia, and so the government's basically locked everything down for the first, for the following 6 days. Well, for the next 4 days. We've already been through two of them. Well, we're in the second one. So I've got a day off of work. What else am I going to do? I can't leave the home, so I just thought I could just basically sit at home, watch TV, play video games, or I can just do something to improve my training. Yesterday I was doing a bit of stretching, and then it occurred to me, why don't I just do more squatting? Of course, some of you guys are going to laugh, but I've done this in the past as well. I've had a period where I squatted 3 to 4 times a day. That was when I was on holidays and I didn't have much on, and so I would just basically walk in the shed, and I was literally spend 15 minutes squatting, working up to a sort of heavy single, and then calling it quits. And then doing that 4 or 5 times a day. I think the most I've ever done was 4 actually. It wasn't 5. But anyway. So today, same thing. Can't go anywhere other than going to groceries, and my partner does that. So, it's only one person that can leave the house per household. So I'm pretty much stuck basically. So it is just before 10 o'clock. So I'm just gonna work up to a heavy single, and I'll just see where it goes from there. I'll just do stuff I've been doing so far, which is kind of like, pause squats. So I'll work up to maybe 160, whatever feels good right now. I haven't had breakfast, I haven't had anything yet. So I'll just do that. So I'll just work up to a heavy single, and then it's gonna be the same video. So I'll come back and do a second and third session, maybe even a fourth session. Depends how bored I am really. So let's see how it pans out. So let's get warmed up and do the first session. So that literally took me 10 minutes. So there you go. I think even less than 10 minutes. 10 minutes to work up to a heavy single. So technically you could do that, man, how many times a day can you take 10 minutes out of your day to do this? I mean, you could do this many, many times. There's like no metabolic disruption. It's just a question of central nervous system fatigue. But if you're, like me, and you're not going balls deep every single time, you can do this several times a day. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna take my shoes off, go back in the house, have breakfast, do things around the house, whatever I want to do, and I reckon I'll come back in like 4 hours time and 3 hours time and do another session. I'll record that as well. I'll record all of the sessions today. Let's see how many I can get in a day. I'll record everything. This might be a long video, but it'll give you guys an idea of what it looks like to train multiple times a day. I mean, is that a training session? I don't know. I mean, you can. The conversation with high frequency training is always like, oh man, but you're not really training per session like I'm training per session. Like I've said to somebody on one of the comments, the way I look at it, man, is I look at it per weekly volume or per monthly volume, whatever you want, per yearly volume, and just take everything into consideration and work out who's training more, who's doing more tonnage. And I think that the person that does more will eventually get stronger. As simple as that. As I said to the fellow in the comments, for me, man, like doing 5 sets of 5 3 times a week is very, very draining. Psychologically, physically, it's just draining. When you do the first set, it's tough. You do the second set, it's tough. And then like, God damn, I got another 3 sets. So it's like a drag to train. Whereas this way, I've always felt like this is kind of like a refreshing thing. It's fun to train. The side is near. I'm not the type that ever did marathon running or long distance running or long distance anything. And those events are more mental than anything, right? Like, yes, sure, it's physical, but just the idea of, I got to run the next hill, and then you get up to the next hill and you see, oh my God, there's another hill. And I mean, that to me is very, very draining mentally. Whereas if I walk up to a bar and I know this is just one set, I hit the one set and I pack up and go home, you can do that. It's like a sprint. You know where the finish line is, and you go your hardest, and that's it. And that way, the quality is going to be really, really good. Whereas the quality, if you do 10 sets of 10, just some stupid number, just throwing it out there, that the last few sets are going to be just rubbish. You're just going through the motions. You just don't have the mental attention that it requires. Anyway, guys, that's it for this portion of the video. I'll come back for session 2. Session 3, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But anyway, that's it for now. All right, so now it is 1 o'clock. So the last session was 10 o'clock. So now it's 1 o'clock, 3 hours later. I'm gonna hit it again. So same thing, I'm gonna just work up to a heavy single and see how I go. It could be 160, it could be more. I haven't trained multiple times per day in quite some time. So I'll just let the body, like always, set the pace. So let's see how it goes now. So I'll show you the whole thing again. So we'll start off with the bar and work up and see how it pans out, I guess. So that's the second session for the day done. So that's twice now that I've hit 160 for one. Feels not too bad. I guess I'll feel everything tomorrow. But yeah, so far I feel good. Like, mobility is good. That's one thing that I've kind of had experience with training multiple times a day, like greasing the groove is what I'm thinking about. You feel better and better as you go along. You honestly do. The nervous system gets in the groove, and you just feel kind of more comfortable under the bar or whatever the case you're doing. But yeah, give it a couple more hours and I'll hit the third session. All right, so this is the third session for the day. The first one was at 10 o'clock, second one was at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock? Yeah, I think it was 1 o'clock. And now it's almost 5 o'clock. So spaced them out 3 hours or so. How do I feel? I feel not too bad. A little tired, I must admit. I feel a bit yawnish. I feel like I want to yawn all the time. That's probably the central nervous system telling me you've had enough. But I'll do another one. I will squat again. You just, see how it feels. Like if it's feeling too heavy, I won't push. So let's just see what's happening. Let's start off with the bar. I'll show you everything again, so you guys see the full thing. I just realized I didn't put the shoes on. Give me a sec to put the shoes on and we'll get to it. All right, so there it is. 3 squat sessions in one day. Like I already mentioned, the reason why I did this because, well, we're in lockdown. Can't get out of the house, can't do anything. So I just thought, why not? Basically, each squat session took me around 10 to 15 minutes each. And in between them sessions, I did kind of in the house, I did some stuff with the abs. I did some calf raises. This basically worked out all day, essentially. If you've never done this type of thing, try it. But if you're not squatting frequently, like I am every day, drop down the numbers a fair bit, because you don't want to, feel too much pain the following day. You can treat it kind of like a, as a practice kind of day. You're doing heaps of reps, heaps of quality reps. Pause them as well so you can keep your numbers down even further. It's just a really good approach. It gives you an appreciation, an idea, not that this is, but gives you an idea what Bulgarian really is. Those dudes squatted 3 to 4 times a day, every single day, and not like this. They went all out, balls out, basically to failure every single session, which is absurd. It's hard to imagine, but like anything, your body will adapt to it slowly. The guys that were kind of in that system, you need to understand that they were the elite. These guys weren't, your intermediates by any means. These guys were very, very advanced, and they've had many, many, many years under the belt already. Basically, since they were age of like 5 or 6, they started training some sort of GPP type thing. So these are very kind of elite level athletes. And so you can imagine that somebody of that caliber could potentially kind of get accustomed to that type of training. Certainly the results showed. Do I think Bulgarian is a smart thing to do? I don't. It's pretty kind of common knowledge now that those guys were probably on drugs. Think about it. You're smashing yourself every single session. There's very little recovery going on there. So you need some sort of enhanced recovery ability. And so that's what they did. It's good just to have a feel of what really they kind of must have felt. Now, I've just done squatting. They would have done other stuff as well. Whoops. So that was my little daughter stacking it, but she's all right. So basically, yeah, Bulgarian. Those dudes were extreme, doing extreme things, probably enhanced. But this type of training, you can do on a different level. You can still train high frequency without killing yourself. And you still get the benefits of becoming a proficient mover in whatever thing that you're trying to do, in this case, squatting. So, that's how I look at it. A lot of people, tell me, but the Bulgarians were on drugs, right? Yeah, but I'm not doing Bulgarian. I'm getting some of their ideas and I'm kind of just playing around with it. And that's what this is. So if you've never done it, try it. Why not? Don't die wondering. But that's all. So basically 3 sessions today. 160 each time is the top set. It was quite fun. I quite enjoyed it. All right, guys. Catch you.